So the final paragraph is building the comparison, where you're looking at which text, in your opinion, is more effective in conveying the author's intention. And we've spoken about intention being the purpose. What is the author's purpose? What is their message that they're trying to convey? We're doing a compare and contrast for this one. So your structure should follow as which text is more effective as your key idea. You then go into talking about how both texts are the same in conveying the author's intention. So to consider the cultural assumptions, what is the author assuming about the culture? When we looked at culture, we spoke about values, attitudes, beliefs. What are we assuming about, well, how are we generalizing the society that the authors wrote from? The differences is where you look at how are these different? And that is where you start moving into which is more effective. So text one has a clear focus on the glory of war, whereas text two looks at the glory and the heroics of war, but also then brings in the realism of the loss. And therefore, why difference matters is about why that difference, that bringing in the value of loss and that families are grieving, makes it more effective. That's the structure you're looking for. So first thing you need to do, you go through, you identify how are these texts similar in the intent. So again, this was something we were all struggling with. Is what are we assuming about the context of the setting, the society that the author was writing in? And you'll put it together. So at this stage, I still haven't said which is more effective. You can know in your own mind. You don't have to know. It'll be through the process. You will find that. So I've summarized that here, and that's what I'm going to talk about. I then go back to my text, and now I'm looking for how are they different. And so this poem focused on the glory, whereas this looked at it as duty. So both looked at patriotism, but this was the fact of it was a glorious way to die, and this was it's the duty if I love my country. And you start to see how, while they have the same representation, there are subtle and sometimes very explicit differences. So then we simply come back, we put that in there. And I talk about, well, this text does this, whereas text two goes beyond that. And it's from that which then is more effective in conveying the message, the purpose, the author's idea to the audience. And now I can put in my key idea because through that, I'm saying the short story War is more effective, shows superiority over Tennyson's. And that then helps me to build in why is that text more superior? And there you have it, a full paragraph. So remember the first one, how are they the same? This time you are not writing in the same structure. You are now looking at the similarities. How are they the same? But then how are they different? And what makes that difference important? And if you are still struggling to go through that, I want you to go back to that, write that essay paragraph that we were looking at. I'll pop the link onto your OneNote, but go through and reread. We did the quiz yesterday. So go through and read and look at why difference matters. Good luck.